On day 1, I hatched from an egg as a baby sniffer. Whoa, I can't wait to see how much has changed since I was last in this world. Suddenly, a warden landed right in front of me and said,
"If you don't defeat me in 100 days, I will permanently delete you from the game."
The warden started to attack me using some kind of sonic boom ability and began to chase me. Oh no. I only had 5 hearts, so I definitely could not get hit by any of his attacks, or I was gonna be toast. I ran as fast as I could, doing my best to avoid him. I was able to evade him by running between trees in the forest, and eventually lost him. On day 2, I continued to explore the world when I ran into a player. Excuse me, sir, do you know where I am? The player was startled by my appearance, and then began to attack. Ah! He hit me, dropping me down to 1 heart. I started to run away from the player, hoping he wouldn't defeat me. I spotted a mountain in the distance, and started to run up it. Once I got to the top, I noticed a pool of water at the bottom. I was scared. Oh man, but I knew I had to jump to avoid him. I jumped off, and he was startled to see me drop to the bottom. I landed in the pool of water and looked around to see where the player was. Oh my goodness, he's jumping as well. I got out of the water and used his hesitation to get in front of him. I continued to run off until I saw a structure and ran inside. I looked through the windows and watched as the player ran by. Wow, this is seriously a dangerous world to live in now. On day 3, I began to search the lab for anything that could be useful. I began to open the chests that were scattered around. Inside, I found a set of stone tools, as well as a journal that belonged to Dr. Blocks? Huh, sounds interesting. I opened it up and started to read it.
After years of searching, I was finally able to locate one of the ancient structures that was lost to the times. I was then able to get one of the eggs and bring it back to the surface. Before I was able to hatch the egg, a warden attacked me, so I had to flee before finding out what the egg held. If my understandings are correct, this ancient egg holds a sniffer from a long time ago. The sniffer was known for having an incredible nose that was able to find and dig up ancient seeds that no other mob could find. I know there are more of them out there.
The journal ended, and I realized I had to test these theories out for myself, so I quickly rushed out of the house. I began to use my nose to search the nearby area. I followed the strongest scent I could, and ended up in a plains biome. I continued to follow the scent, and found myself standing in front of a cow. Oh, sorry, I was just following my nose.
Not cool, man.
Okay, I apologized to the cow, and continued to search the area for other scents. I caught one, and followed it to a spot in the ground. I dug up the dirt, and I found some kind of strange plant that I've never seen before. I grabbed it and ate it. Suddenly, I felt strange, and I grew into an adolescent sniffer. Whoa, I even had 10 hearts. That was some strong plant. I tried to search for any more scents that were in the area, but I was unable to find anything. Out of nowhere, an arrow flew past me. What? I turned around to see a massive group of skeletons. The skeletons all started to attack me, and I tried to fight back, but there were way too many of them. I had to flee and find safety. I had run through the night into day 5. I realized I was gonna need a place to live. I collected materials from nearby and used them to start a base. It wasn't much, but I hoped I would be able to find more sniffers and give them a nice place to live. I began to venture out in search of Dr. Blocks and any other sniffer eggs that were in the world. I was traveling for a while when I heard a large roar from behind me. I turned around, and it was the warden again. He began to shoot his sonic booms and charge after me. Why? Why are you after me?
I am the newest mob in Minecraft. With you, now all of the attention will be off of me.
You don't want me here because it'll take attention away from you? How petty can you be? I decided I was tired of running from him and confronted him, hitting him with my sword. The warden just laughed though. Oh no. And he launched me in the air. I landed and lost most of my hearts. Okay, in hindsight, that wasn't a great idea. Time to run. As I started to run away, I felt really weak and I collapsed to the ground. On day 6, I woke up in the warden's ancient prison. I looked around and saw there was someone else next to me. I asked them who they were, and they introduced themselves as Dr. Blocks. Hey, I read your journal.
I'm thrilled that you survived. The warden captured me and has been holding me prisoner after discovering your egg.
I thanked him for discovering me, but told him that we had to find a way out of here. The warden would stop at nothing until I'm defeated. Luckily, he said that he'd been here for a while now and realized there was a way they could escape. He had befriended another creature in the cave. Suddenly, a rascal appeared and started to talk with Dr. Blocks.
Yeah, I gotcha.
The rascal unlocked the cage for us. Dr. Blocks and I escaped the ancient temple and then stopped quickly to talk before he headed back to his lab. Hey, can you point me to where you found my egg?
The structure is not too far from our location now. I didn't have time to search it for other eggs, but maybe you can find one.
I headed to the structure, and when I arrived at the beach, I dove in and followed his instructions to the temple. On day 7, I arrived at the structure and began to search for any eggs or information about my kind. I opened chests and found nothing but a scrap of paper. I grabbed the paper and began to read it. Sniffers dominated the lands before players even existed in the world. Wait, what? When players entered the world, they used them to find ancient seeds that they could craft into powerful potions, as well as food. Eventually, the Sniffers went extinct, and no one is certain why. Their eggs, however, were preserved in various structures around the world. There must be more structures like this in the world. I need to find them. I searched the nearby area and eventually found another structure. I quickly moved inside and found, yes, a sniffer egg. I took the egg and headed back toward my base. I waited and hoped the egg would hatch soon. Suddenly, a baby sniffer spawned from the egg.
Oh, where am I?
I told the sniffer that we were in a much different world than when sniffers roam free and explained to her what was going on. What's your name by any chance? She said that she couldn't remember. Well, we'll call you Nina. Nina was excited to help out another sniffer. On day 8, we got to work constructing a place for Nina to live. I built her something that she would be able to grow into, since I knew she would eventually be my size. I headed out to see if there were any more ancient seeds nearby. I wanted to grow again, and I needed to find some for Nina as well. I followed my nose and caught a scent of something nearby. I began to dig around and found various seeds, but no full-grown fruits. I returned to my base, and together, Nina and I started to build a farm to grow all of the ancient seeds I found. After the farm was finished, I started to ask Nina about the past and if she remembered anything from the time long ago.
Unfortunately, the only memories I have are the world I was born into now.
I was glad to know I wasn't the only one who couldn't remember, and was also excited to have found another one of my kind. It's so great to have company around now. Listen, Nina, it's up to us to find the rest of the eggs. We need to make sure our species survives in this new world.
So what should we do?
Okay, you need to stay and watch the base until you grow large. I'm gonna go venture out to explore the world more. On days 9 to 10, I was out exploring the world when I came across a village. I was hesitant at first to go towards it, since everything in this world seemed to want me dead. I built up the courage though and headed inside. Hopefully here, I'll be able to find more information about my past. I wandered through the village and noticed that the villagers were looking at me in awe. I started to get nervous that they would attack until one of the villagers approached me.
In my lifetime, I have never thought I would see a sniffer!
You know what I am? The villager explained to me that before players, villagers and sniffers would work together to build a peaceful farming community. The villagers provided the sniffers food and shelter, and in return, the sniffers would use their nose to uncover new seeds for the villagers to plant. I explained to the villager about the warden and his plans. In return, he gave me a special bow along with some arrows.
Listen here, young sniffer. Your eggs are not just located in the water, but there are rumors. They are scattered all over the world in various structures. You need to be careful though. Pillagers will not take a liking to see you as well.
Pillagers, huh? I thanked the villager for all of his information and was preparing to head out when the warden showed up and began to attack the village. I used my newly acquired bow to fight back against him, and noticed it left behind a poison effect that damaged the warden. The warden hit me with a sonic boom, and I realized I was still not strong enough to last the full fight. I had to flee the village for my own safety. On days 11 to 12, I headed to a nearby cave to get some upgrades. I searched the cave and found iron. After smelting the iron, I used it to craft a pickaxe and sword, as well as an iron chest plate. I heard noises coming from behind me though. What was that? I saw a massive group of zombies, and they were running straight towards me. Oh no! I fought back against them using my newly acquired upgrades and was able to take them all down. Phew, that was a close one. I was already starting to feel stronger. As I was leaving the cave, I heard noises from the entrance. I saw a group of pillagers. The pillagers looked at me in shock.
Capture the sniffer!
What? No! The villager warned me about these guys. I tried to avoid their attacks, but there were too many of them. Something hit me. I'm not feeling great. I think I'm starting to feel woozy. I woke up inside of a cage at a pillager outpost. This is exactly what I was not supposed to do. How could I let this happen? I looked around at all the pillagers staring at me and murmuring to each other. They ran off, but I was approached by a ravager. Hey, we look alike, you know? We both looked at each other and we started to see a lot of similarities. I asked what it was.
It's been a long time.
He continued to say that stories of us had been passed down from generation to generation, but he never believed them to be true. But why would you work for these kind of people? They're so hateful.
We were made for war. All we know now is hate and violence.
I wanted to continue our conversation, but I was interrupted by Steve attacking the outpost. He fought them off before freeing me from my cage. Wait, what? You're on my side now?
You are coming with me.
I'm definitely not going with you. I hit him with my sword and staggered him before running off back toward my base. On days 15 to 16, I arrived and noticed that Nina had also grown into an adolescent sniffer. She told me that she had some of the foods that the seeds turned into before venturing out into the world to find more.
The world is so dangerous and scary, though. I returned empty-handed.
Suddenly, Dr. Blocks came rushing toward my base and told me that the warden attacked his laboratory and destroyed it. Well, I guess he was really mad at him for discovering us. I told him about the villagers and the pillagers, and he informed me that he had also heard of those structures.
I had found something similar to this in my readings. There was a cave that I believed had an ancient structure.
He continued to say that he was too afraid to venture into a cave because he was a peaceful researcher, not a warrior. Yeah, no kidding. I thanked Dr. Blocks for the information and told him that he can stay at our base since he had nowhere else to go. We got to work constructing him a new lab so he could continue his research. Once we finished, I said goodbye and headed toward the cave. On days 17 to 18, I arrived at the entrance of the cave and began to look for any signs of the ancient temple. I started to get a sense of some fruits coming from deeper in the cave. All right, I have to go follow that. I eventually came to a large structure and headed inside of it. I saw a massive farm area of ancient fruit, similar to what we had created. How was this possible? We're inside of a cave. I started to collect the fruits from the farm before searching deeper into the structure. I eventually came into a massive room that was filled with chests. I started to search the chests and found more seeds as well as fruits. This must have been what I was smelling. I started to leave, feeling a little disheartened. There were no other sniffer eggs here. But when I stopped, I heard something.
Who enters my domain?
I turned to see a baby sniffer. Wait, who are you? Hey, stop! He hit me, but it didn't really do any damage.
Miros, and I'm the bravest and strongest creature in the world.
I really like this guy's outlook. Hey, buddy, listen, I don't mean any harm. I then told him that I wanted him to come with me to my base. Miros was reluctant, but he said he would enjoy some company. We left the cave and moved back home. On days 19 to 20, Miros and I were traveling on our way home when a group of pillagers ambushed us. I told Miros the coordinates to my base and told him to run off while I held them off. I began to fight back, making sure to avoid as many arrows as possible. As I was fighting, the warden showed up.
Stay back, you pests. He is mine to destroy.
He's ours to capture.
The warden was enraged with what the pillagers were saying. He rushed at them and began to attack. The pillagers fought back against him, and I did my best to avoid the fighting, but more pillagers started to attack me.
Hey, come with me.
I turned and saw Steve was fighting against the pillagers as well. Why? Why would I trust you? You tried to kill me. Steve apologized and told me that he wanted to protect me. I just needed to trust him. Okay, I was scared, but I figured anywhere was more safe than here. Steve and I headed off together. We arrived at Steve's base. He quickly took me inside. I still had my guard up, knowing I could be walking right into a trap. Steve led me to a chest, and then to my surprise, he started dropping me a set of iron armor. Thanks, but why are you helping me now? Steve said earlier he acted on impulse and wanted to know what I was. However, he now realizes that we need to work together.
Legends of your kind were told to me long ago. I only thought it was a myth, and I misjudged you.
He told me that I must defeat the warden and ensure my species survive in Minecraft. I was too ashamed to tell him that the warden actually kind of freaked me out. I quickly changed the subject and offered him some of the ancient seeds I found while I was digging. Steve was amazed and asked what they could be used for. Well, I read that they were once used to craft various potions. Do you think you could do the same?
I can do my best, and whatever I'm able to create, I'll bring it to you.
Awesome. Thank you. But I think it's time that I headed back home. On days 24 to 26, I returned to my base and noticed that it was changed. Nina approached me and told me that while I was gone, Miros had arrived at the base, so they built him a house to stay at. Miros had also brought more ancient seeds, and it looked like together they expanded the farm. Thank you, Nina. Seriously, you guys really did work hard on all all of this. She said that it was the least she can do. I approached Dr. Blocks, and he told me that he'd been doing a lot of research on the sniffers.
Also, look at this cool invention I made. I call it a tough golem. It is able to hold and pick up items for me in my base.
I mean, it seems pretty useless compared to me.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Anyways.
He told me that he had uncovered another location where sniffer eggs might be located. There was a structure deep in the desert that seemed to follow the same pattern as the other eggs. Okay, I think it's time I go pay that desert a visit. On days 27 to 29, I began our travel through the desert. I felt like I'd been walking for days when I finally spotted the temple in the distance. As I got closer, I noticed there were pillagers outside of it. What were they doing here? I began to shoot arrows at them, poisoning and weakening them. Once they were low, I rushed at them and finished them off with my sword. Phew, that was a close one. I made my way into the temple to find the egg. I entered a large room, and there was an evoker standing right in front of the egg. Hey, that doesn't belong to you. The evoker laughed and said,
With this, I'll be able to create an even more powerful Ravager for our army. Attack him now, you stupid beast!
I saw the Ravager that I spoke to earlier. He looked like he was ready to charge at me. Wait, why? Why would you work for someone who treats you so poorly? The Ravager looked confused by my comment and hesitated. The evoker was angry by this and started to attack me instead. I tried to fight back using my bow, but he was far too strong for me to fight right now. I had no choice but to run away.
Why didn't you attack him, beast? You do as I command you.
On days 30 to 32, I was traveling back to my base, saddened by my inability to stand up to any of my enemies. Man, I can't even defeat an evoker. How am I supposed to take on this warden? I decided it was a good time to get some upgrades for myself. I started to search for diamonds, and I was able to find enough to craft a sword, as well as a pickaxe. As I was leaving, I heard a noise and turned to see the rascal from the ancient city was standing there.
That's one.
That's one what? What's going on? I turned in one direction and began to walk off when I heard him call out that he was ready.
All right, find me again.
Find him again? Okay, I ran back and found him a second time.
All right, one more time.
One more time? What even are you? I walked off before turning around. I searched the cave and eventually found him. The rascal jumped with joy and then said,
You win, buddy. Here's your prize.
He then dropped me a golden apple. Wow, I sure was hungry, so I decided to eat the apple. To my surprise, I grew into a full-size sniffer. I even had 20 hearts. I thanked the rascal and asked him if he would like to return with me to my base.
Nah, dude. I prefer living in caves. All right, bye now.
Okay, it was worth a shot. On days 33 to 35, I returned to my base, and everyone was shocked to see me fully grown. I was also impressed to see that Miros had also grown into an adolescent himself. Wow, looks like everyone's been eating well. I walked up to Nina and started to talk to her about the pillagers. Listen, I tried to fight back, but they were still able to get the egg.
You did everything you could, Fozo.
She said that my interaction with the Ravager had given her an idea and suggested we convince them to join us in our fight against the Warden. That's a great idea. I think the first priority, though, should be getting the egg back, but I'm not sure I'm gonna be strong enough to do it.
You're much stronger than you think. You just...
She was interrupted by a group of pillager scouts attacking our base. I jumped into action and started to fight them off. I needed to defend my friends. With my new diamond sword, these guys were no chance. I took most of them out, but one started to run off. I chased after him, knowing he would give away our location. As I ran, I realized I had a better idea. On days 36 to 38, I continued to follow the pillager, hoping he would lead me to where the evoker took the egg. As I was following him, the warden appeared. This guy is always here to ruin my plans.
I will find where you're hiding. You will never defeat me.
Yeah? Well, a friend told me that I'm stronger than I think, and I think it's time I listen to her. I shot an arrow at him, and I can tell it made him mad. We began to fight. I could tell with my new sword, he was still far too strong. Wow, I had a diamond sword, and still, it did nothing. Maybe Dr. Blocks knows something that could help me. I had bigger issues at the moment, though. I was starting to lose hearts. This gave me an idea. You want me? Well, come and get me. I started to run in the direction the pillager had been, hoping I would find where he was going.
Get back here, you coward!
On days 39 to 41, I spotted a massive woodland mansion and knew this was where the pillager had been running to. I ran past the Vindicators and turned back to see that the warden was fighting them.
You pests will pay for getting in my way!
This guy had some serious anger issues, but at least he was distracted for the time being. I started to search the rooms of the mansion and eventually found one that contained the sniffer egg. I grabbed the egg and turned to leave when I saw that the evoker was standing there right in my way.
You pesky sniffer! Sniffer. You will not escape me this time.
He summoned Vexes, and they began to attack me. I started to fight back against them and took them down. He continued to attack me himself. I can tell I was hurting him as much as he was hurting me. Suddenly, the Ravager appeared, and he started to attack the Evoker with me. Wait, you're helping me now? Together, we were able to take him down. Listen, I need to take this egg to my base, and you should join me. I don't think it's safe for you to stay here.
I don't really have much of a choice now.
Great. Well, come on before that warden finds us. We started to make our way back home. On days 42 to 44, I returned to base. I realized I never caught your name. What is it?
It's Ronnie.
You're Ronnie the Ravager?
Yeah, is there something wrong?
No, nothing at all. I got to work constructing a house for Ronnie to live in. Once I was finished, I then made a structure for the egg. This fella is gonna need a place to live once they hatch. I was still in the building mood, so I decided to expand my house as well. It was starting to feel fit for an adult sniffer. Once I finished, I went to Dr. Blocks. Hey, do you know much about the warden and what his possible weaknesses are? He explained to me that the wardens were blind, but he had a great sense of hearing, making them easily distracted by noises. That makes so much more sense.
There may be some sort of weapon you could use to defeat him, but I'd have to do more research.
Well, while you do that, I think it's best I go and get some more upgrades. I started to search for diamonds, and after some time, I had enough to craft myself a pair of pants, as well as a helmet. I headed home to show off my shiny new armor. I returned to my base to show off my new armor, but before I could, I realized the sniffer. It hatched. I rushed up to him. Hey, what's your name?
My name is Vannon. Where are we? This world is so different from when I last walked the earth.
Wait, what do you mean from when you last walked on Earth? He told me that he had memories of the past from when sniffers weren't extinct.
Long ago, when sniffers walked the earth, the wardens became jealous that we had both sight and an enhanced sense of smell. The wardens hunted us down and did our best to remove us from the world. We tried to fight back with powerful weapons, but we were overrun before they could be constructed. Any sniffer that hadn't been converted to a Ravager was killed off.
Do you know anything else about these ancient weapons? Unfortunately, he didn't. Man, well, do you know a way that we can convert the Ravagers back to sniffers?
It is possible, but I would require a very strong potion.
I remembered. Steve was working on potions using the ancient seeds. Wait, this can all be connected. I have to go find him, and fast. On days 48 to 50, I arrived at Steve's base. Hey, remember those potions? Have you made any progress on them? I finally found what they need to be used for. We can cure the Ravagers. Steve said that he made some progress with the brewing, but it was very advanced techniques, and he was not very experienced with it.
Maybe if you can get me some stuff from the nether, it can help us cure what you're looking for.
He told me that he was gonna need some glowstone, as well as a few nether warts for the potion. Alright, I'm gonna need a way to get in though. He pointed me to the right direction, and I took his portal to the nether. I then began to look for the items he asked for, and found all the glowstone Steve would need for his potions. I began to make my way back to the portal, but it was blocked by a group of piglins. What could they possibly want? As I approached them, they saw me and began to attack. I thought you guys were supposed to be neutral. I started to fight back, but was quickly being overrun by the number of piglins. They requested that I come with them now. Oh man, I had no choice but to surrender. On days 51 to 53, the piglins led me to their bastion and presented me to the king of piglins.
A sniffer in this world? I never thought I would see the day.
How does everyone seem to know who I am, but I don't know any of you guys?
I am sorry for the harm that you were caused by my men.
He continued to say that they had been patrolling this territory for a long time in search of ancient seeds. Apparently, they've gone missing too. In the wrong hands, these could be used to make devastatingly dangerous potions. They want to acquire them to keep them safe here. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
If you are able to locate these seeds, we will provide you safe passage back to the portal.
Okay, deal. I headed out with one of the piglins, who led me to the area they believed the seeds were. I started to sniff around, and after some searching, caught a scent. I followed it to a point in the ground and began digging. I uncovered the ancient seeds. The piglin was very happy to see them. I gave them to him, and he led me back to the portal, thanking me for his help.
I wonder what I can make with these.
I exited the portal at Steve's base and returned to where he was brewing the potions. I handed him the items I collected in the nether.
Hey, what took you so long?
Long story, but I hope this is everything you need to make the cure. Steve said it should be, but it was gonna take some time to brew. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thanks, Steve. I headed off back toward my base, and when I returned, Dr. Blocks was there waiting for me and said,
I was able to uncover more information about these ancient weapons.
He started to tell me that the two ancient weapons had been used by the sniffers long ago. They were used to fight against It's the wardens. So he actually could fight back against those guys? There was an obsidian forged sword, as well as a bow that was gifted to them by something that lived long ago.
If the bow is still intact, you can find it at this location.
He dropped me a map, and I thanked him for his help. As I was leaving base, Nina approached me and told me to be careful.
We all need you, Fozo.
Don't worry, Nina. I'll be safe. I promise. On days 57 to 59, I arrived at the location, and standing in front of me was a giant labyrinth. Whoa! Whatever I was looking for was on the other side of this. I began to wander through, hoping to find my way out. I had been traveling for some time when... Wait, I've seen this before? Am I going in circles? I was lost in this maze with no way out. I turned around to leave, but I realized I had lost all sense of direction.
Give up.
I heard a strange voice and looked around for the source. There was no one.
You are too weak to defeat anything, including the warden. You need to just stop it and give up.
The labyrinth itself was talking to me? Oh man, I was terrified. What if what he's saying is true? What if I'm not strong enough? I mean, I already didn't feel like I was, especially to defeat that warden.
You will never get out of here. Your species is doomed.
Is this place right? Was I gonna fail here and ruin my chances of survival for everyone? No.
You are much stronger than you think.
Believe, Fozo. I screamed out at the labyrinth. I will get through this place, and I will take out that warden if it's the last thing I do, and nothing, including you, can stop me. There was no responses, but suddenly the floor lit up a path. I guess I need to follow it. On days 60 to 62, I made my way out of the maze and into a large open room. I began to search for the bow, and I heard a voice.
A sniffer? Back in my domain?
A colossal spider emerged in front of me. I was no longer afraid, though. Who are you? She was the queen, mother of all spiders that roamed Minecraft. She said that long ago, she had aided the sniffers in their fight against the wardens, but feared she hadn't done enough, and they failed.
I am impressed by your determination through my labyrinth and your compassion to help the others.
How were you alive to see all of that?
I am older than almost any of the mobs that you know today. I provided your ancestors with this. Take it.
She dropped me a bow and some arrows. I picked it up and noticed it was a web bow that could be used to slow down enemies. I thanked the queen of the spiders, and she wished me luck in my battle with the warden. On days 63 to 65, I was on my way back to my base when I heard the distinct sounds of raid bells coming from a village. I rushed to the village and saw that it was swarmed with pillagers and ravagers. I took out my new bow and began to use it on them. Each time I shot the bow, a spider web would hit the target and slow it down. I heard the pillagers call out to the ravagers.
Hey, attack him, you stupid beasts!
The ravagers looked at me, didn't attack. I continued to fight back against the pillagers until they began to retreat. As they were fleeing, I saw one of the ravagers stop and look back at me. I wonder what he was thinking. The villagers thanked me for defending the village. Of course, you don't need to thank me. I hated those guys. To help them out even more, I decided to expand their farm and plant some of the ancient seeds I'd found. The villagers were very grateful for my help. To show their appreciation, they gave me an iron golem to bring to my base for protection.
Yeah, his name's Billy! Take Billy!
On days 66 to 68, I returned to base and noticed that everyone had been busy. The group had worked together, upgrading Dr. Blox's lab. Whoa, look at that thing. Dr. Blox told me that with the expanded lab, he was able to track down the other ancient weapons. Seriously? He said it was a sword that had been destroyed by the warden, but
I believe I can rebuild it with the right materials. There is some special obsidian located in a mountain not too far from us now.
Thank you, Dr. Blox. I don't know what I could do without you. I went over to check on everyone else. I showed Van and the bow that I'd been given, and he was amazed to see it.
Yeah, I remember when that was used in battle. Almost turned the tides, too.
I went over to Nina and saw that she had grown into a full adult sniffer.
I wanted to thank you for helping me. You make me feel safe in this scary world. I am so much less afraid because of how brave you are.
Well, thanks, Nina, but believe it or not, it was your encouragement that made me feel as strong as I do today. With my newfound confidence, I headed off toward the mountains. On days 69 to 71, I was on my way to the mountains when the warden approached me and said,
The cowardly sniffer, face me and perish.
I am not afraid of you anymore, especially when I have this. I took out the web bow bow and began to shoot the warden with it. I can tell he remembered it and appeared to be frightened of it himself. While he was caught in the webs, I used my sword to attack him.
Where did you find that?
I refused to answer and just continued to attack. I was definitely weakening him, but I can tell that my sword was not gonna be enough. Finally, the warden hit me straight up in the air. And I was stunned for a second upon landing. The warden used this time to run off before I could trap him in the webs again. I wanted to chase after him, but I knew I'm gonna need that sword to defeat him. I continued on my journey to the mountains. I reached the mountains and headed into the cave entrance like Dr. Blocks had instructed me. I wasn't sure what I was looking for, but he said that I would know it when I saw it. As I was making my way further into the cave, I found a large vein of diamonds and stopped to mine them. With them, I was able to complete my armor set. I continued further into the cave and finally came to a spot that had this strange purple ore on the walls. This had to be the obsidian that Dr. Blocks told me about. I started to mine as much of it as I could. Once I had enough, I started to make my way toward the exit, but was stopped when I heard a noise coming from inside the cave. I began to follow the noise until I saw lava was pouring out of it. It was starting to rise towards me. I had to get out of the cave. I rushed to the exit and the lava was following right after me. I left the cave and headed home. On days 75 to 77, I made my way back to the base. I was very proud of myself. I mean, I wasn't even that scared of that lava, and I was able to escape all by myself. I handed the obsidian over to Dr. Blocks, and he was ecstatic to see what I collected.
That is excellent. I will begin working on the sword. I only need one more material to reconstruct it.
Before he could tell me where to find the material, Steve arrived at my base. I rushed over to him and asked him if he had been able to make the cure.
Yup, and I tested it out myself.
Oh, well, that's great news. Where is it? Steve looked at me and then started to explain as he finished the cure. His base was attacked by pillagers. He tried to fight back, but was overrun by all of them. He had to flee or risk dying. When he returned, the cure had been taken away. No, we needed that. Those pillagers are always ruining everything. Ronnie approached me and said that he knew where they would take this cure. Awesome, Ronnie. I'm gonna need that information. I grabbed some extra food and prepared to head out with him.
Can't go, Fozo. It's too dangerous.
Nina, I have no choice. I need to get this for everyone. I'll be safe. I headed off with Ronnie. On days 78 to 80, Ronnie led me to a massive structure. It was the pillager headquarters. Listen, Ronnie, there's no more hiding or running. We're gonna be going in head first. We rushed into the base and began a fight with pillagers. Ronnie and I took out a lot of the pillagers on our way inside and noticed that the other Ravagers looking at us. They must have been confused to see a Ravager and Sniffer fighting side by side with each other. We entered the building and I found the cure that Steven made. Okay, let's get out of here.
Wait, look what I found.
He dropped me a bunch of TNT and some flint and steel. I knew exactly what he wanted me to do. We went around the headquarters and dropped TNT everywhere. Okay, other Ravagers, you might want to follow us. Once everyone was a safe distance away, I ignited the TNT, destroying the pillagers' base and taking them out for good. I told the Ravagers why we were there and asked them if they wanted to come back to our base for the cure. Most of them accepted the offer. Great, guys, let's go home. We returned to base with the cure, and I was immediately approached by Nina, who said,
I'm so happy you're okay. I was worried something terrible might have happened to you.
No, of course not. I wouldn't let anything like that happen. I promise. I then went around and distributed the cure to all the Ravagers that wanted to be changed back into Sniffers. There were so many of us now. I was so proud that I've been able to save the species. Looks like we're all gonna make it. With all the new faces at my base, it was time to get to work. I got to work constructing everyone a house to live in. Once I was finished, Dr. Blocks approached me and started to explain that the last thing that he would need to construct was the sword.
There is a very old ore known as syncinacite. The Sniffers used this to forge the sword.
He told me that he found it in an area that he believed could hold some, but wasn't sure where it would be. He dropped me a map to the location. I was gonna head out, but it was getting dark. I'll set out in the morning. On days 86 to 90, I woke up and said goodbye to everyone before setting off to where I hoped the ore was. I arrived at the area and noticed there was nothing here. Wait, what? Dr. Blocks has never let me wrong this entire time, and it can't start now. I started to search the area. Still found nothing. Where could this possibly be? I thought back to something Vannon had told me days ago.
Sniffers buried things long ago to prevent them from being found by enemies.
That's it! They must have buried them here. I used my nose and concentrated really hard. Suddenly, I smelled something. metallic? Okay, I started to dig up the dirt and found a strange yellow ore. This must be it. I started to mine as much of it as I could and then headed back toward my base. On days 91 and 94, I was back home, but it was destroyed. What happened here?
The warden came and attacked while you were gone. I tried to fight him off, but he was too strong for me. The worst part is that he took...
Nina! No. Where is she? I had to get her back. I was about to rush off when Dr. Blocks approached me, calmed me down. He said there was enough time to save her and defeat the warden, but I was gonna need that ancient sword. All right, well, here's the ore, but you need to hurry, okay? He ran off to his lab to finish the weapon. In the meantime, I had work to do. Miros and I went around and began to rebuild all the houses that had been destroyed from the warden. As we were finishing, Dr. Blocks came out holding a massive sword made out of obsidian.
This is the obsidian claymore, the sword that was forged in order to defend the Sniffers from the wardens. With this, you should be more than enough to take out that warden.
I took the sword from Dr. Blocks and stormed off toward the ancient city, where I knew the warden would be. On days 95 to 99, I arrived at the ancient city. All right, warden, where are you?
Bozo, over here.
I saw Nina and quickly rushed to the cage. Oh my gosh, are you okay? I was so worried that something terrible happened to you.
I'm fine. I was scared at first, but I knew you would come to rescue me.
I was about to break Nina out of her cage when I heard the warden roar behind me.
Ah, look at the two lovebirds. Time to die together.
The warden rushed at me, but I pulled out the obsidian claymore. Oh, you're hesitating, huh? Are you scared? He must have recognized it from long ago. We began a fight, and every time I hit him with the sword, it was inflicting massive damage against him. The warden turned and ran, but before he fled, he grabbed something from one of the chests and ran off. Oh man. Okay, I need to get you out of here, Nina. Come on. I broke Nina out, and together, we traveled outside of the city. Once back home, everyone was very excited to see us.
Bozo, you're so brave. I'm so happy you found me.
Of course, Nina. I'm just glad you're safe. But there's still one matter that we need to put our attention to. On day 100, I was woken up by a massive explosion at my base. I rushed outside and saw the warden standing there.
I've been working on something, and I'm ready to unleash it.
He started to drink a potion, and he grew to a monstrous size. Oh man, was this possible? I realized the warden must have found a way to take the fruit from the piglins. Oh great. The warden began to use his sonic boom, and when it connected, it took away a bunch of my hearts. The potion not only increased his size, but his strength. I started to shoot webs at him to slow him down, and right after, I would rush at him with my sword. He hit me, and I went flying back into a building. I was starting to lose hope. I turned and saw Nina standing there. I jumped up and delivered a hit to the warden, sending him backwards.
You can do it, Bozo. We all believe in you.
I felt inspired and continued to fight back against him. I will not give up. My species belongs in this world.
Pathetic, Sniffer. This world will forget about you in no time.
I charged at him and delivered a critical strike, reducing him to his regular size. No, that's when you're wrong, Warden. I do belong here. The world won't forget about us because we aren't going anywhere.
No, you were never supposed to get these weapons.
Unfortunately for you, I had a great team that helped me. I jumped at him and delivered the final hit, taking him down. I'd done it. The Sniffers would stay in Minecraft forever. On day 1, I spawned in as a diamond turtle. I was on a shoreline and knew as a turtle, the ocean was my home.
Son, you have made it.
Welcome to our home.
I looked around and saw an entire civilization of sea creatures. Everything looked so peaceful and happy. Man, I want to live like this forever. Suddenly, the water started to change into green, poisoning all of us.
Oh no, this water's being polluted too. Son, you must go now. We love you.
I watched as my parents died in front of me. No! I only had 5 hearts, and they were depleting fast. So I swam as fast as I could to the surface to catch my breath. Wait, who's that? And are those machines dumping a bunch of waste in the ocean?
Yes, my operation is going just as planned. Soon I, Mr. Bigsley, will become the richest man in Minecraft.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh my, is that a diamond turtle? You must be worth a fortune.
The man immediately got in a boat and started to chase after me.
This ocean is nothing but a junkyard for my mission. All I care about is being rich. And when I capture you, Red Diamond Turtle, I'll be richer than ever.
On day 2, I was swimming as fast as I could with the boat right on my tail. I quickly noticed that the water around me was clearing up. Time to go under. I was successfully able to go underwater and lose Mr. Bigsley. Okay, that was too close. I can't believe my family is gone. What am I supposed to do now? I then noticed the ground was rising up. Am I reaching land? I swam up and saw a small island with nothing but sugarcane. Oh man, I'm hungry. I quickly grabbed some to help return my strength when...
Hey, that's my sugar!
I heard a loud rumbling and turned around to see a giant tortoise quickly approaching me. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just... The tortoise shot a water attack though, and I barely dodged it. Hey! He charged in and kept attacking me. Since I was a baby turtle, I used my size to my advantage, dodging all of his attacks. I then built up my strength and hit him on the head.
Oh, my apologies. I just realized that you're the Diamond Turtle.
Yeah? You know who I am?
Of course. The Diamond Turtle is meant to be the savior to all creatures by stopping Mr. Bigsley. He's a billionaire whose greed for diamonds led to the invention of the most dangerous mining machines. The waste these machines create is slowly killing all of us. There are 5 different diamond temples scattered throughout the world that shall upgrade you to your final form. It's up to you, Turtle, to stop this.
Up to me? The tortoise introduced himself as Jenkins and handed me a map that would lead me to the first temple. Are you sure I'm the one who's meant to stop all of this? I'm just a turtle. Jenkins told me to shut up and to stay here for the night to regain my strength.
Be out by the morning.
The next day, I swam over to a new shore after leaving the island and found myself in the middle of a desert. All right, Diamond Turtle. I guess I need to find the first temple. I noticed the single tree and was able to craft myself a set of wooden tools. Using a nearby cave, I was able to upgrade them to stone. The perfect gear for temple hunting. I was on my way to the first temple, but the heat from the desert was beaming down onto me. Oh man, it is hot. I needed to find some water and fast. I quickly spotted a pond nearby and jumped in, but started to take damage. Ah! Even the ponds are polluted too? Man, maybe more of this world was polluted than I thought. Suddenly, a rich-looking raccoon approached me.
So, you're this Diamond Turtle that Mr. Bigsley told me about. I see you think this water is disgusting, but I find it delightful.
The raccoon then picked up a block and shot it at me. Thankfully, I was able to dodge it.
You're coming with old Vito. I'll deliver you to Mr. Bigsley, and in return, he'll grant me the world's filth and pollution, just as raccoons like it.
He started shooting at me again with any block he could find and was able to hit me. I tried to do everything to fight back, but with no upgrades, I had a severe disadvantage.
Cha, man, pick on someone your own size.
A rabbit jumped in and started to fight off the raccoon. He was extremely fast and used this to his advantage, ultimately leading to the raccoon running away. Hey, thanks for the save.
Chopper, don't worry about it. I don't like bullies. It's nice to see another friendly face around here. The name's Rod.
Nice to meet you, Rod. I'm Fozo. On day 4, Rod and I's friendship quickly developed, and we decided to stick together. We were continuing to follow the map to the first of 6 temples when we approached an entrance to an old mine shaft. Oh no, this place looked a little scary.
Cha, what's so scary, man? Come on, we'll be fine, huh?
We walked through until we noticed a small railroad system with a couple of mine carts. This is where the map ends. I'm not so sure about this, but deep down, I knew I had no other choice. I got in the mine cart with Rod, and they slowly started to go forward. Did I say slowly? It was going faster and faster every second I was in it. Is it supposed to go this fast?
Cha, come on, man, it ain't that bad.
Rod spoke too soon though, because I noticed the head of the railroad system, there was a huge hole in the middle of it. I don't think that's supposed to be there.
Me neither. Cha!
Ah! Okay, that was close. Do you think the temple is down there?
Cha, only one way to find out.
Wait, no! Thank goodness there was a pool of water here. Wait, what is this place? After a second glance, I realized that I was in the first temple. This place was awesome. I looked over and saw a diamond-looking apple sitting on a pillar. I'm guessing this is what I was after. I climbed up and ate the diamond apple, which upgraded me to my second form. I gained 5 more hearts and grew in size. I also had a new ability called the Diamond Punch? Sweet! I noticed there was a passageway that was blocked. So using my new Diamond Punch ability, I was able to punch blowing up the entire entrance.
Cha, there you are. Looks like you've gotten stronger there, pal. I'm happy for you.
Thanks, Rod, and never push me down a dark and scary hole again. Rod agreed, and we both left the cave. As we were exiting, we stumbled across a large swamp oasis. You know what? I think I just came up with an idea. On day 5, Rod and I got to work building up our new homes. I would build while Rod went out to gather materials. This is one body of water that Mr. Bigsley won't affect. I want this to serve as a safe haven for all animals out there, especially the sea creatures. I swam back to the shore to collect some seeds for a food source. With those, we were able to build up a nice small farm for ourselves. I even made an underwater kelp farm. Turtles love kelp.
Cha, this is sick, man. You know, it's nice spending time with someone else. I haven't since...
Since what?
Well, with all this pollution spreading, I got split up with my family. Believe it or not, I ain't really got a lot of friends.
Hey, you know, you're my friend, and don't worry, I'm gonna help you find your family. I then heard a large commotion coming from the other side of a nearby hill. Oh no, what can that be? I arrived at a village, and from the looks of things, it wasn't doing so good. Families were there, all looking sad and scared. As I was looking, I suddenly heard mutters coming from behind me.
I am tired of this.
Hey, is everything all right?
I am tired of this! Ah!
The villager started to attack me. Hey, stop! He didn't listen though, and kept punching. I did my best to dodge him, but he was crazy. I stepped back and knocked him on the head with my diamond punch.
Ooh! I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. My vision became blurry after eating that rotten, polluted food. I'm tired of it.
I looked over and noticed that all of their crops were polluted. Why would you guys eat this?
We have no other choice. Mr. Bigsley's pollution has ruined farms and crops for villages all over Minecraft. We can't survive like this.
Yeah, no kidding. I then noticed a weaponsmith that seemed to be really sad. Hey, are you okay?
Me? No, there's no materials left to mine. The billionaire has taken it all.
Inside, the cave was completely barren of any resources.
An evil millionaire is using the materials to build up machines. They grant him resources, making him richer and richer, damaging the world with pollution. The more he uses them.
That's not good. I need to find the next diamond temple.
Temple? You don't mean the one up in the mountains south of here. It's not that far.
What is that? The weaponsmith told me he wasn't sure. Don't worry, I'll find out soon enough. I reached the laser blast on day 8, and what was waiting for me was much worse. It was a machine that seemed to be aiming to a mountainside. Every time it shot, it blew a massive hole in the world, consuming all of its materials. This has to be him.
Who, me? Of course it is, you turtle! Word has quickly spread that you are trying to stop me in my plan.
Yeah, because you're insane. You killed my parents. You've killed countless animals all because you only care about yourself. Don't you see what you're doing?
That's enough out of you.
His machine was then pointed straight at me. A blast beamed out, but thankfully, I was able to avoid it. I ran up and used my new diamond punch ability to greatly hurt the billionaire. But he shot his machine again, and this time, it hit. I was low and knew that I needed to leave.
Before, I wanted you for your diamond. But after learning your plans, I just want you dead!
Before Mr. Bigsley could strike again, I jumped in the river and quickly swam away from him as fast as I could. Soon enough, I realized this water was also polluted too, causing my hearts to drain even more. As they were depleting, I noticed a mountain similar to the one the weaponsmith described to me. I think I just found where the second temple is. On days 9 to 10, I made my way up the mountain, only to be greeted by a blocked entry. This has temple written all over it. After some searching, I was able to find a lever contraption that opened up to the main gates. This one looked a lot different than the last. I noticed that there was a hole in the middle of it, so I quickly jumped in, only to be greeted by a room full of polluted water. That's when I saw the diamond apple on the opposite side of it. The only way I can get it is to swim through this? Ugh. Okay, Fozo, here goes nothing. I jumped inside, immediately starting to take damage. Oh gosh, I knew I had to keep going, but I felt more and more weak. Ugh, my vision was starting to get blurry, but I suddenly got a vision. I was in clear waters again, and my parents were standing in front of me. Mom, Dad!
Listen, son, it is you who is meant to fix all of this.
Your diamond will shine brighter than the sun one day. You will see.
Suddenly, my vision became clear again, and I was at the other end of the polluted hallway. I ate the second diamond apple, and suddenly my hearts turned into diamond hearts. I also had 15 now, and wait a minute, am I standing now? This is weird. Because of my diamond hearts, I took way less damage swimming through the polluted waters. Woohoo! I was walking back to base, which felt so strange. On the way back, though, I saw a dolphin lying across the beach.
Oh boy, looks like I'm having dolphin for lunch today. Get him, boys!
Not if I have anything to say about it. I blocked the crab from the dolphin, and he tried to attack me with his giant claws. Luckily, my diamond shell protected me. I punched the crab and knocked him back.
Ow! A turtle that punches and is diamond and can stand? I'm out of here! This guy's a freak!
Yeah, that's right. Once the crab was out of sight, I turned back to the dolphin and checked on him. He seemed extremely sad and weak.
Thanks for the save. The name's Flipper. I used to live on these waters, but they're too polluted to swim in. Now I have nowhere else to go.
Hey, don't worry. I think I have the perfect place that you would like. On days 13 to 14, I got to work making Flipper a new home. I gathered more resources and put Flipper's house right under the water next to mine.
Oh boy, let me tell you, it feels amazing to be under clean water again. Thanks, pal.
No worries. I then swam out of the water, only to see Rod charging at me. Hey, 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 ow!
Yeah, dude, thank goodness you're okay, man. I was like starting to get really worried and stuff, and I was like asking around if they seen you and stuff, and wait, are you standing?
It's a long story. The dolphin swam up and said he's heard many things about Mr. Bigsley. You have? Is there anything worth sharing with us?
The only thing I can think of is his nearby mining outpost. He's been using it a lot recently to strip the world in that area.
The dolphin told me where to head off, and I thanked him. I made my way out. Before I reached the location, I went into a nearby cave, knowing it was best to better protect myself. I mined any iron I can find and used it to upgrade my tools to iron tools. I even was able to make myself an iron helmet. All right, time to find out how to stop Mr. Bigsley's plans. On days 15 to 16, I was led to a giant hole on the side of a mountain and can see minecarts inside. This hole looks like the work of Mr. Bigsley's machine. I could hear the sound of mining and ventured further to see creepers mining all of the material using their explosive abilities.
Keep mining, guys. We need these resources to make Mr. Bigsley more machines. We don't want to make him angry.
Hey, those materials don't belong to you.
It's a diamond turtle. If we grab him, Mr. Bigsley's gonna reward us.
Uh-oh. I had no choice but to fend off my attackers. I used my new diamond punch to take the first one down. Good. I think I've got a chance. Ow! I got hit, and the damage took away some of my hearts. I sped around the mobs and tried my best to avoid their attacks. Eventually, I was finally able to take them all down. Man, that was close. Well, at least I'm safe now and oh man, I've really got to stop falling through holes. Hey, what's this? There was a map on the ground and it showed me the location to Mr. Bigsley's lab. Maybe if I go there, I'll find a way to stop his pollution for good. I found a way out of the room and stumbled into one more creeper.
Mr. Bigsley wanted me to make sure no one was snooping around his business. Bye-bye!
No! I ran away and barely avoided the creeper's explosion. I definitely can't handle more of these guys around without any more upgrades. I needed to find another temple first. On days 17 to 18, I made it back to base, and Rod and I harvested the wheat from our farm and made some bread with it.
There's not much wheat left, man. We're gonna have to find more crops.
You're right, but we can't find any around here because of the pollution. The two of us decided to venture out and try to find more food. While on our trip, we noticed that more of the world was being affected by Mr. Bigsley's pollution.
This is so messed up, man.
I know. I have to stop this before Mr. Bigsley turns everything into a wasteland.
Hey, over here.
We looked over and saw a squirrel outside of a wooden shelter.
You guys need to be careful around here. Redwing owns these guys.
Redwing? The squirrel's name was Chip, and he was trying to keep the forest animals safe from Mr. Bigsley.
Yeah, Redwing is a giant hawk that preys on small animals like us. If you need a place to hide, you're more than welcome to stay here.
You know, Rod, maybe it is a good idea to stay here for the night.
Cha! Nonsense, Fozo. We've got no time to lose.
Okay, we'll just keep in mind to watch out for Redwing. The two of us continued looking for food until... Oh no, we have company. We try to run under the forest. If this was Red Wing, we knew we were in trouble. Before we could fully hide, a hawk with large red wings landed.
You must be the diamond turtle everyone's been talking about. You're coming with me to Mr. Bigsley.
Wait, why are you working with him? You know he's destroying the world, right?
Foolish turtle. I'm trying to save my people. If I help Mr. Bigsley, he promised to not pollute the climate I live in. So you're coming with me.
Rod, run! The two of us bolted away from the hawk and tried to lose him. Redwing, though, immediately flew up into the sky and started tailing us. Come on, we can lose him in the trees. I managed to get under one, and Rod was right behind me. But Redwing was too fast and managed to catch him. Hey, let go of my friend! I ran over to him and hit him with my diamond punch, but he was unaffected and easily knocked me away.
Shaw, get your claws off of me, man!
If you want your friend back, then you'll turn yourself over to Mr. Bigsley, Diamond Turtle.
Redwing was leaving with my friend, and I was too weak to stop him. Don't worry, Rod. I'll come get you. I promise. On days 21 and 23, I knew that I needed more information on Redwing, so I returned to Chip's shelter. Chip!
It's you! Come on in! There's still some room!
I went inside and saw that it was full of animals. There was even a small pond that had sea creatures. This is terrible, Chip.
It's all thanks to Mr. Bigsley, and now Redwing. He used to be the protector of the forest, but now he's Mr. Bigsley's enforcer. He's desperate to save the other hawks.
I asked him if there was any way to stop Redwing, but he didn't know. I guess the only way to beat him was to find the next Diamond Temple.
Oh, yeah, the Diamond Temples. I've heard many things about them, but the closest one from here is the one over by the volcano.
Chip gave me the location, and I was excited to find that the next temple wasn't far from here. I was about to head off, but I looked over at the other animals inside. I can tell that they were very weak and dying. Chip, why don't you and the other animals head over to my base and stay there, okay? This place isn't ideal for you guys. I vowed to have a safe place for animals, and that included them. On days 24 to 26, I reached the volcanic area and noticed that there were holes everywhere. Mr. Bigsley must have been here collecting resources and polluting the area. If I'm not careful, this entire volcano could collapse. I looked around it and noticed iron ore alongside it. I quickly mined up any iron that I can find and was able to finish off my iron armor set. I continued upwards and noticed an entrance at the top. Maybe that's where the Diamond Temple is. Just then, clouds started to form in the sky. Oh my goodness! Perfect! It's finally gonna rain water! Ah! Ow! Ow! The rain wasn't pouring water, but instead, it was burning me. Acid rain? That's no good. I started to lose hearts, and fast. I need to find some cover. I ran to the side of the volcano. Oh, that was too close. It's too dangerous outside to go up the volcano, but I need to get to that temple. I know. I pulled out my iron pickaxe and started mining my way through. On days 27 to 29, I finally saw an opening and reached a higher area of the volcano. There, the third Diamond Temple was waiting for me. I walked inside and found a spot that was holding the diamond apple. I went over and ate it and felt much stronger than before. I had 20 hearts now and acquired a cool diamond blast. Sweet. This is gonna come in handy. I made my way out of the temple until I was confronted by Vito.
Mr. Bigsley was right. There are diamond temples all around the world.
How did you find this place?
That doesn't matter. Mr. Bigsley is gonna have this temple, and I'm gonna bring him your diamond shell, too.
The raccoon shot his weapon at me, and I quickly avoided the block. I ran up to him and used my diamond to push him back. The punch, though, did no damage, and the raccoon managed to throw a block at me. Ouch! Try this on for size. I used my new diamond blast, but was only able to stun him. What? I still can't beat this guy? I made a break for my tunnel and escaped through there. I returned to base to get some more food and saw that Chip and the other animals had made it. Chip, it's good to see you guys here.
Yeah, but where are we supposed to sleep?
Oh, you do need some homes to stay in. I quickly went around the swamp and collected a bunch of materials. Then, I built several homes for my forest animals. I even built a small little treehouse for Chip. I expanded underwater and built several homes around me and Flipper's houses too.
Thanks, Bozo. You really helped us out.
I don't know about that. I looked over at the farm and knew that it wasn't gonna be enough to feed everyone here. I also noticed that some of the crops were getting contaminated by the polluted water. I can't let them eat all of these. It would kill them. I need to find a way to undo this pollution. Wait a minute. Maybe? I used my diamond blast on the farm and the water turned back to normal.
Whoa, that was
it's still not enough to keep it clean long term. I need to find the other temples. I knew deep down though, if Rod saw this, he would be stoked. I miss my friend. I pulled out the map that showed Mr. Bigsley's location. It's time to go save him and be brave just as he would be for me. On days 33 to 35, I followed the map when I spotted Redwing surveying the skies. Oh no, I hid under a tree and watched him fly away from the area. You know, maybe he could lead me to Rod. I quietly followed right behind Redwing until he flew inside of a large building. What is this place? I reached it and knew that this had to be Mr. Bigsley's mansion. It looked like an entire operation was going down here. I went in and found Rod was trapped inside of a cage. Rod, it's so good to see you. I told you that I'd come back.
Chaw, I never doubted you for a minute, man. Just, can you get me out of here?
I walked over to Rod's cage when Redwing flew down in front of me.
You're not going anywhere.
The hawk tried to scratch me with his claws, but I used my diamond shell to protect me. I'm much stronger now. I then used my diamond to blast and hit Redwing.
Looks like I finally got competition.
He tried to fly around and catch me off guard. He was able to fly by and hit me, taking away many hearts. Don't you understand, Redwing? I'm doing this to save all animals.
All I care about is my own.
Then I'm sorry. The moment he swooped in, I perfectly timed another diamond blast, which caused him to be defeated. You could have been so much more, Redwing. Let's get out of here, Rod.
You know, I overheard Mr. Bigsley say that he's creating a giant machine, one bigger than the rest. If he does this, who knows how bad the pollution will get.
This is bad.
Cha, real bad things are getting a lot worse, buddy. Because of Bigsley's pollution, I heard that my old home is almost inhabitable now. I think my family's still there. I don't want them to die, Fozo.
Memories of my family dying began to flood my mind. Don't worry, Rod. I won't let your family suffer the same fate mine did. We searched around the mansion and managed to find a bunch of seeds and a water purifier. With this, it should help us keep the oasis clean and solve our water problems for now. Rod and I were on our way to his family when we spotted Vito nearby. That raccoon was polluting more of the world.
Soon, my trash paradise will come into existence.
Listen, you don't have to side with Mr. Bigsley, okay? We can all find another way.
Find another way? There is no other way. When I was young and alone, nobody wanted to be around me. Everyone called me filthy and thought I'd be better off dead. Mr. Bigsley was the only one who thought of me as useful. I shall make sure his vision for this world comes true.
No, you won't. I shot Vito with my diamond blast, stunning the raccoon.
Just you wait, Fozo. You still have no idea what he has planned.
Let's keep going, Rod. We journeyed into the forest, and the place was devastated. Most of the trees were dead, and the ground was destroyed by pollution.
Wait, Dad?
Rod ran over to his parents, and his father looked extremely weak.
Oh, Rod, thank goodness you're okay. Your dad is sick, and I don't know if he's gonna make it.
I threw him some bread. Here, try to eat this. He ate some and gained a bit of energy. This forest is way too contaminated for you to live in. Come stay at the oasis with me and your son, and I promise someday this land will be restored again. On days 39 to 41, I let Rod take his family back to my base. While he did that, I searched for a way to heal his father. I eventually found a village and went inside to see that the villagers were all sad. What's wrong?
The polluted waters has ruined all of our crops. If we can't reverse this, we'll all die of starvation.
I think I may be able to help you with that. I went over to the villager's farm and shot my diamond blast at it, turning the crops back to normal.
You did it! Now we won't have to starve anymore! Do you hear that, Henry? We're saved! Here, Diamond Turtle, take this as gratitude from all villagers around the world!
The villager dropped a bottle, and it was a potion of healing. Oh, wow! Thank you! I rushed back to base, and then gave Rod's dad the potion. He drank it, and was immediately cured of his sickness.
Thank you, Fozo.
Cha, Dad! Thank goodness you're okay!
Using some leftover materials, I built Rod's parents a nice wooden home next to Rod's. With all these animals inhabiting the oasis, I decided to grow the farm and use the water purifier to keep expanding water throughout all of it, and hopefully getting rid of the pollution. Ah! What was that? Rod and I decided to go over to see what was going on. We both followed the noise until we reached the cause of it. A large machine was using a laser to drill through the mountain. Animals ran away from it. What? If this goes on, it'll destroy the entire biome. I needed to do something. I tried to use my diamond punch on it, but it was too hard to break. I used my diamond blast to stun the laser, finally shutting it down.
Shaw, dude, you did it!
But suddenly, the machine started to make a weird noise. Oh no. Run! We bolted, and the machine exploded right behind us. Why would the machines do that? These machines are only getting worse and worse.
I think I might know why. I heard that there was a lab underneath Mr. Bigsley's mansion. Maybe that's where he builds all of them.
Thanks, Rod. Hopefully, I can get rid of them once I find them. On days 45 to 47, I reached the mansion and looked around for the underground lab. Eventually, I found an area that had a secret entrance. Once I opened it, I went down a set of stairs that took me to an area that was filled with large machines. With all of these, Mr. Bigsley can ruin the world in no time. I looked around at all of them until I spotted a valve on the wall. I hit the valve, and it took me down an elevator to another room. Inside of it, there was a machine that looked a lot different than the others. It was enormous, and I can tell that it wasn't fully built yet. I think this is the one Rod was telling me about. If this was fully built, I don't think anyone will be able to stop Mr. Bigsley. I continued investigating the lab until I saw a cage that was holding a chicken, and not just any ordinary chicken, a golden one.
A diamond turtle? Please, you gotta get me out of here, man. I'm Sonny, and Mr. Bigsley's been using my golden eggs to get rich and power one of his machines.
My goodness. I gotta destroy all of these machines and get you out of here.
Make a sound and I guarantee you'll be captured in the blink of an eye. Get me out and I can help you find a better solution.
I knew that Sonny was right. I broke him out of his cage and we quietly escaped the lab. We weren't that far from base when Sonny stopped me. Hey, what's wrong?
Listen, Fuzzo, I really appreciate you getting me to safety, but I need to get back to my farm.
Your farm? But if you do, then who knows if you'll get captured again? Sonny was afraid that Mr. Bigsley would go after his golden chicks now that he was gone.
I can't lose my family to that maniac. They mean everything to me.
Don't worry, okay? I'll go and rescue them. You need to remain safe, though. Head back to my oasis. He was skeptical, but I told him to trust me. He did, and we both went our separate ways. I reached the farm, and it was already under attack. There were more of those rich-looking creepers, and everything was on fire.
Let's get those chicks for Mr. Bigsley.
I don't think so. I charged in and used my diamond punch to knock the creepers out of the way. I then used my diamond blast to finish one off. The second creeper managed to hit me, but he didn't do much damage. I used my other diamond blast on him too and easily finished him. Now, come on. Where are those golden chicks? I ran inside of the farm and heard a noise. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness you guys are okay. You guys look so scared. Come on, let's get you guys back to your dad. On days 51 to 53, I was at the base with the golden chicks and Sonny.
Oh, my babies! I'm so glad you're all safe.
It was good to see Sonny reunited with his family, and it made me miss my own a little bit. You know, maybe these animals in the oasis are my new family, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to protect them. I got to work building them a new home. I quickly gathered some materials outside of the base and made him and his family a large chicken pen. I know it's not the same as your farm, but at least it's safe.
Thank you, Fezzo. This will definitely work for us.
No problem. Now you guys get comfy.
Because you saved my children, I think I may know where another one of those diamond temples are.
You do?
I've overheard things while being captured. Just be careful, Fezzo. Mr. Bigsley is onto your plans.
I will be. Sonny gave me the location, and I immediately left the base. I reached the ocean that he mentioned, and just like my old home, it was completely polluted. The next diamond temple was under these waters, so I had no choice but to go down there. Maybe my diamond hearts could protect me from the pollution. I dived in and immediately took damage. I jumped out of the water and saw that half of my hearts were already gone. This pollution seems stronger than normal. There has to be another way to get down.
Oh, I've never seen a diamond turtle before.
A witch was behind me and was marveled by my appearance.
You're trying to go down the ocean, right? You're going to need a special type of potion if you want to go down there.
Would you mind making that potion for me? It's really urgent that I find the temple in this ocean. The witch agreed, but I would have to gather some ingredients for her to make.
I will need some emeralds from the nearest village, and one last ingredient.
What's the last ingredient? The witch pulled out a sword and sliced me. Ow! Ow!
A sample of your blood. That should do it. Go! Get me the emeralds!
I then made my way to the nearest village. I looked around in some chests and found 5 emeralds. You know, I think this should do. I made my way back to the witch hut and handed her them. So, what did you need this for again?
Oh, nothing. I just hate villagers. Anyways, here you go.
The witch then threw me a potion of protection. You know, you lied to me, but at least you were useful. On days 57 to 59, I returned to the ocean shore and pulled out the potion of protection. This better work. I drank and jumped back into the ocean, and I didn't take any damage. Nice. I continued swimming further down, and the 4th diamond temple was within sight. Perfect. I reached the entrance, and a group of drowned were standing in my way.
We will not let you inside, Diamond Turtle. Mr. Bigsley has turned this water into a polluted utopia for drowned, allowing no players to explore this area.
The drowned began to attack me, but underwater, I was too fast for them to catch up. I darted around and used my diamond punch to take down one by one. I defeated the last one and cleared the entrance to the diamond temple. I went inside and noticed that the water around wasn't polluted like it was on the outside. You know, maybe the diamonds inside of here kept the water clean. Huh. The diamond apple was on top of a pillar in the middle of the room, and I quickly took it. I now had 25 hearts and grew larger than my previous size. Now I could really tell that I was getting stronger, and I even acquired a new ability. I was able to summon diamond fangs out of the ground at will. Sweet. As I made my way back to the surface, I started to take damage and lose hearts. Oh no, the potion's starting to wear off. I swam as fast as I could and jumped out of the water. Phew. I need to get some food and regain my strength. I returned to base and refilled my hunger bars from eating our crops. Oh no, I was so blinded by my hunger that I ate most of our food. Oh, I still had the seeds that I took from Mr. Bigsley's mansion. I added carrots, beets, and pumpkins to the farm and also increased its size. Now, everyone should have a good amount of food. It's good to see that the base was coming along nicely.
Cha! Bozo! Looking good, buddy!
Thanks, Rod.
Cha, you know, I think we should add more homes to this place. It's, starting to get overrun by animals.
I agreed. The both of us collected more resources around the swamp, and I built more houses along the shore and underwater. I knew that more animals would eventually live here until I defeated Mr. Bigsley. Once I find that last temple, I'll stop that billionaire right in his tracks. On days 63 to 65, I headed out in search for more food and any information on the 5th diamond temple. I reached the jungle, and it looked like the effects of Mr. Bigsley's pollution had reached this area too. Most of the trees have died, and I couldn't find any animals around anywhere. It was like a ghost town. I knew that I needed to find the next temple, but where do I even start? Then I remembered Jenkins back on his island. He knew all about the temples. Maybe I could ask him. I went over to the shore, and the water there was too polluted to swim in. No way am I gonna make it across in one piece. If I can't swim across the water, then I'm gonna have to sail across. I went over to some trees and used my iron axe to chop them down. I then dropped the crafting table and got to work building my incredible ship. Or just a regular boat. All right, Jenkins, here I come. Oh no, the island has completely changed since the first time I was here. Everything on the land was dead, and even the sugarcane farm was ruined. Jenkins? Jenkins! I couldn't find him anywhere. No, the pollution got to him too. Now what am I supposed to do? While I was devastated, something caught my eye. There was a piece of sugar left on the ground, and it didn't seem poisoned. I decided to go ahead and pick the sugar up. Once I did, there was a large flash, and I was on the island, but it was entirely clean now.
Hello, Fozo.
Jenkins, you're alive. Where are we? Are we in some kind of vision? Ow!
Of course this is a vision, you idiot. And no, I'm dead. The pollution got me.
I'm so sorry. I should have come back and checked on you.
Oh, don't be sad, Fozo. My journey has passed, but yours is far from over. You've made a lot of progress since the last time we've met, and it's time you find the final temple. I think they should know where to look.
I turned around, and my parents were standing behind us. Mom! Dad!
Hello, son. We're so proud of you.
We knew you were destined for great things.
Go to the Badlands near your oasis. That's where you'll find the temple.
Good luck, son. We love you.
The vision ended, and I was back on the polluted island. Thanks, guys. I promised to make this world right again. On days 69 to 71, I returned to base to find that it was completely destroyed. Wait, what happened? No! The oasis was ruined, and the animals were all scared and hurt. Rod, what happened here?
It was Mr. Bigsley, man. His machines came through here and totally wrecked the place.
That monster! He ruined our home! This place was supposed to be a safe haven for everyone, and now look at it! We need to build it back up and make it stronger than it ever was before. Rod and I quickly got to work rebuilding the base and fixing all of the animals' homes. They were supposed to feel safe here, and I'm gonna do what I can to make sure nothing ever happens to this place again. It took a couple days, but we both worked really hard in trying to make all of the animals happy again. After that, we decided to build a wall around the base for better protection, and there we go. That should do it. Even though the base was fixed, the animals were all still afraid. I can tell that they didn't feel safe. Everyone, please just calm down. I know you're all scared, but I'm gonna make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Oh, I think that was Mr. Bigsley's machine. Come on, Fozo.
I'm right behind you, Rod. We need to stop this now. We reached the machine's location, and it was even bigger than anything we've seen before. It was drilling a giant hole right through the ground.
That's right. Take all the resources and make me rich.
Stop it right now, Mr. Bigsley.
Diamond Turtle, I should have known you'd come here. Well, you're too late.
If this keeps up, Fozo, it'll permanently damage the entire world. We have to stop it now.
I know. The two of us ran over to the laser, and Mr. Bigsley pulled out a weapon to try and shoot us. We dodged the attack, but he was blocking our path.
Fozo, you're too slow to stop that machine. I'll go do it.
Wait, no, Rod! It's too dangerous! Rod removed the laser, shutting it off for a moment, but it was suddenly malfunctioning. It's gonna blow! Rod, get out of there!
Tell my family I love them, Fozo. It's been one heck of a ride.
Rod, no! The machine exploded, sending both me and Mr. Bigsley flying in separate directions. On days 75 to 77, I woke up and found myself in the middle of a plains biome. Ow, my head. What happened? Rod? Rod! I looked around and I couldn't find him anywhere. No, Rod, you were the best friend that I could have ever asked for. I'll make sure the entire world knows that. I looked around and also noticed that Mr. Bigsley was nowhere to be found. He must have escaped. I returned to base, and Rod's parents were outside waiting for me.
Fozo, where's Rod?
Where is our son?
I'm sorry, but Rod is gone.
No, our son.
He sacrificed himself to save all the animals. And I swear, I'm gonna avenge him and make Mr. Bigsley pay for his actions. Rod's parents were still upset, and I completely understood that. I was devastated losing my parents, and now another member of my family is gone. I built a memorial outside of Rod's home, and everyone in the oasis took a moment to honor my friend. You're a hero, buddy, and I won't let your death be in vain. If I wanted to stop Mr. Bigsley and make sure no one suffered the same fate as Rod, I needed to find the final Diamond Temple. My dad said that it would be somewhere in the Badlands. I was crossing over a biome when I heard the sound of a familiar voice.
Come on, you stupid machine! Work!
It was Vito, and he was standing next to another machine from Mr. Bigsley.
How does that billionaire expect a raccoon to run something like this?
Vito, this needs to stop now.
This is only getting started. Mr. Bigsley is finishing up on his biggest machine yet. And oh my, is it a sight to see.
Oh no, he won't. The two of us began our battle, and I quickly took advantage by stunning him with my diamond blast. I couldn't let him get in the machine. I then knocked the raccoon back with my diamond punch. He wasn't too happy about that, but I was confident in beating him. Vito tried to shoot me with his weapon, but I quickly dodged the attack. I then used my diamond fang ability on Vito, taking him down once and for all. Sorry, Vito, but your trash paradise isn't safe for everyone else. Hey, what's this? I picked up the map, and it gave me the location to Mr. Bigsley's operation site. Oh no. Could he be building his final machine here? One that was bigger than the last? I need to stop him. On days 81 to 85, I reached the location, and Mr. Bigsley had a machine here that was bigger than any other I've ever seen. Surely this can destroy the entire world. I need to destroy it.
I don't think so, Diamond Turtle.
Mr. Bigsley landed in front of me and was now in some kind of mech suit.
Because of you and that stupid rabbit, my mining has stalled, but that won't happen again.
I charged in and tried hitting him with a diamond punch, but it was no good. He didn't take any damage.
No one's going to stop me from becoming the richest man in Minecraft, and that includes you.
He activated his suit and knocked me away. Ow! I dodged another attack and tried to counter with a diamond blast.
Your weak diamond attacks won't work on me.
Mr. Bigsley used a weapon from his mech suit and took more of my hearts away. He was too strong for me to fight, so I had no choice but to leave the area and escape.
You coward! My machines are going to change the world!
I continued my journey to finding the last temple until I finally reached it. I was still exhausted from my fight with Mr. Bigsley and needed the diamond apple to regain my strength. I entered and can see the diamond apple was at the end of the hall. I started walking there and noticed that part of the ceiling was falling right towards me. I jumped out of the way and avoided getting buried. Man, that was close. I then heard more of the ceiling coming down. I ran towards the apple and finally reached it unharmed. I guess this temple was booby-trapped. I grabbed the apple and my body began to change again. I now had a total of 30 hearts and felt stronger than ever before. Even my diamond shell looked stronger. So this was my final form as the diamond turtle. I exited the temple and was surrounded by a group of more of the billionaire creepers.
Here's the diamond turtle. Get him for Mr. Bigsley.
A creeper rushed in and tried to attack me, but my diamond skin was too hard for him to damage. I easily knocked him away with a diamond punch.
Forget it. Let's just take him all at once.
The creepers were all about to attack, and I could feel a new ability inside of me. I shot out a huge beam of diamond. Nice. This will definitely be useful. Suddenly, a beam of light shot up in the sky, and I knew that Mr. Bigsley had something to do with this. On my way towards the beam, I ran back into my base. I looked at all of the animals, and they weren't in good shape. The pollution was getting worse, and I was afraid that they wouldn't last much longer. Guys, don't give up now. All is not lost, okay? I'm going to head out and face Mr. Bigsley. Once he's defeated, I'm going to use my powers and purify the world. The animals were no longer down, and they all began to cheer for me.
You got this, Fozo. Save us all.
Yeah, go restore the world for what it should be.
We all believe in you, Fozo. We know that you can do this.
Thanks, everyone. I'll be back. I promise. I reached the beam of light and saw that the machine was now finally complete.
Diamond Turtle, you're right on time to watch my new world unfold. Once I activate my machine, I shall strip all resources from this world at once, making me by far the richest man in existence.
No! Mr. Bigsley activated it, though, and a huge laser began to drill a hole through the earth. It felt like an earthquake was happening all around me.
Farewell, Diamond Turtle.
That laser was gonna destroy everything. I needed to find a way to stop this thing. An idea popped into my mind. Okay, here goes nothing. I went over and used my diamond shell to reflect the beam back over to the machine. It sent a wave up into the sky, causing the entire machine to explode. Whoa. Thanks to my shell, the explosion not only destroyed the machine, but a wave emitted throughout the world, purifying it.
No!
Mr. Bigsley saw the outcome of the explosion and tried to flee the scene. I won't let you run away from this. On day 100, I chased after him and managed to corner him into a dead end. It's over, Mr. Bigsley.
No. Everything that I've done is ruined because of you!
Your greed for riches was destroying the entire world. I couldn't let that continue any longer.
You blasted turtle! If I can't have the world's resources, then at least I'll have your diamond shell.
In the blink of an eye, he summoned another mech suit and attacked, but my ultimate diamond form protected me. I used my diamond punch to knock him away, and I can tell that I was damaging his suit. I'm gonna make you pay for everything you've done. I used my diamond blast to heavily damage his suit.
This can't be how it ends.
This is for Rod. I used my final upgrade and shot a beam of diamonds right at him, causing his mech suit to explode. Mr. Bigsley was gone, and now the world can finally be safe from his pollution.